This program is brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana.
FNB, how can we help you?
Welcome to First Issues. Every 2 years, decision makers from boardrooms across this country, as well as from the highest level of government, convene upon the city of Francistown to hash out the ways in which the private sector can better contribute towards the economic development of Botswana. It is a meeting that has gone by a few names over the past 30 years. It was initially called the Francistown Conference by the then named Botswana Employers Federation. It then became the Private Sector Conference under Botswana Confederation of Commerce, Industry and Manpower, BOCIM. In this decade, however, as we head towards the 15th such meeting of the minds to be held on the 9th of September, it is known as the National Business Conference, spearheaded by the now simply named Business Botswana. The conveners of this meet are adamant that it is more than just a talk shop. What game-changing conversations have been sparked there? What economic impact has the conference had in its 30 years of existence? What changes in legislation can they point to, or which institutions exist as a result of the agreed-upon recommendations made at these meetings? Dichaba Molobe of Business Botswana tells us about the achievements as well as the aspirations of the National Business Conference.
Quite a lot has been achieved over time. And by the way, this started off as the Private Sector Conference, just to reflect the desire of the private sector to talk about improving the economy, also contributing to reforms. So that's how it started, called the Private Sector Conference. But with time it changed and was now rechristened the National Business Conference. And in terms of achievements, I would say a lot has been achieved over time. And the achievements that we are looking at are not necessarily brick and mortar. We're not talking brick and mortar here when you go to Francistown. We're not so much interested in building institutions or setting up new organizations, state-owned enterprises, but we are more interested in reforms, economic reforms. This could be macro or micro. But as business people, the main interest, of course, is on the micro side of things. In other words, the business environment. So this is the focus of the conference. And over time, I mean, simple things that you would take for granted. The fact that price controls, for instance, were abolished. And as a retailer, you could just set the price that you thought is affordable to you. Because before then, you had price controls in this country. And one of the things that that was abolished as a result of the discussion, dialogue between the private sector and business. And even related to that was the fact that, many years ago, in the 80s, if you wanted to go into business, someone who was already in business could object, could say, so you can't go into business because I'm already in that space. And as a result of that, the economy was not competitive. But we did away with that as a result of dialogue between the private sector and government. You take stuff like privatization, for instance. I think the first debate on privatization was triggered by the business conference. Again, coming from business, trying to convince government that you can't have so many state-owned enterprises. You are stifling the growth of the private sector. Yeah, so there are so many accomplishments that came out of this. The fact that now we boast about liberalization of exchange controls. The fact that you can come in, invest, and repatriate your profits. And that creates confidence in the economy. Yes, because if you start placing too many restrictions, people then don't have confidence. They want to be sure that they can come in, make money, and get out if they so wish. So this is part of the private sector's contribution to the competitiveness of the Botswana economy.
What is the future of help? It's to help people find the great in themselves. The drive, the passion. Help them find their true potential. Help them stretch. Help them grow. That's why we help people help themselves, help the world, because a little help goes a long, long way. FNB, how can we help you?
Welcome back to First Issues, as the Chaba Molobe of Business Botswana continues to tell us about this year's installation of the National Business Conference. Clearly very powerful and impactful conversations being taken at this conference. Do you have an idea of what might be the main points of discussion this year, where we are at as Botswana right now?
Now, for this year's conference, we are looking at Botswana. We are saying Botswana is an upper middle income country, economy, but we've been there under that classification for quite some time now. I think for the last 10 years or more. And it's important for us to make the transition from upper middle income to high income. And we think you can only do that if the private sector, business, takes the lead in that transition. So we are trying to look at what it is that needs to be done to enable business to be the tip of the spear, if you like, in making the transition from where we are to high income. And we are also bringing in perspectives from outside Botswana, because sometimes it's not healthy just to talk among yourself.
Be inward looking.
Inward looking, insular. So we are bringing in speakers from other countries, especially from economies that are successful. I mean, there's a guy who's coming from Switzerland to come and share lessons on what it is that makes a country like Switzerland tick. So that's what we are trying to do, so that because there's something to learn from them. Why are they stable? Why are they high income? It might take a while for us to get to their level, but there's no harm in listening to what they have to offer.
These discussions, do they take place with business as a collective, with Business Botswana representing all the voice of private business, or is it a debate where stakeholders from various sectors really try to chew out the major issues?
There are two distinct groups. You have government on one hand as a public policy makers, and then business as those that have to operate under the set policy. But the aim is to exchange notes and share ideas, so that if there's something that the government wants to learn from business, they can do so. The reverse is also true with the private sector. If there's anything that they think they can learn from government, now this is the occasion. But we are looking at this as a collective. It's not a them and us. It's for the whole economy. So the discussion is not so much about one group here accusing each other of not doing so much, the other one also retaliating. No, that is not the spirit. The spirit is to look at Botswana collectively in the spirit of teamwork and see what it is, because it's a win-win situation for all of us. If you do well, everyone wins, government wins, you increase the tax revenue base, and then government is able to provide social services, education, health, roads, and for business, if the environment is conducive, they're able to make money, employ more people, and get wealthy. I mean, that's what business are there for. So I think that will be exciting.
I cannot wait to see what recommendations are made to help move Botswana from an upper middle income country to a high income country at this year's conference. More details regarding the Business Botswana National Business Conference will follow in the weeks to come here on First Issues. But do stay tuned, there's more to follow after the break.
What is the future of help? It's to help people find the great in themselves. The drive, the passion. Help them find their true potential. Help them stretch. Help them grow. That's why we help people help themselves, help the world, because a little help goes a long, long way. FNB, How can we help you?
Welcome back to First Issues. For some weeks now, we have been educated on cardiovascular diseases, seeing that their pandemic rise across the globe is coming at a huge cost to human capital development, quality of life for billions of households, and threatens to hamper global economic growth. Poor diet and exercise impede the function of your cardiovascular system and lead to conditions such as high blood pressure, heart failure, stroke, and heart attacks. The message to eat wholesome, natural foods as opposed to processed foods, as well as to live active lifestyles, is one that now is constantly repeated by health professionals and governments alike all over the world. The messages, however, appear to go in one ear of consumers and out the other. It is our hope here at First Issues that the more personal account of Mr. Mutalifi Ernest Khabuyisile will be better received by our audience and lead to positive lifestyle changes. Mr. Khabuyisile of Tlokweng is a 69-year-old married father of 5 and a retired public servant. He discovered he had high blood pressure back in 1995. And by 2009, he had developed complications that required heart bypass surgery. As an example of millions of others around the world, he describes what impact cardiovascular diseases have had on his life and work.
Ka lesogo ena re ga ke simolla bolwetse bo tsena mo go nna ke ne ke ntse ke le motho wa go tsaya dipilisi ke le ka ga tlase ga marina being the government sponsoring government institution hospital mme ile ga ba bolemoga ke bone ba ne ba simolla ba tsaya sengwe le sengwe ba itse gore ke tshwanetse gore ke bone kalafi e ntseng yang ke bone ne ba duela la ga gona ko thokona ka utlwa go te gate ne le madimadi a tshwarang close to bo 500,000 a le gore ga ne le nna ke sa kgona on my own. We appreciate gore ke se government a se re dirang re le Batswana. Ina re gantsi ke tsamaya ko spatela ba lemoga ga pelo tota hela ile gore ano la ga ba ntse ba mpha dipidisi mme ga ite sentle be ba simolla ba bua gona gore nya go ra gore ke sentse re kiro le aro mme la re la tele le botlhoko le bokete ke na ka lira ko South Africa ko Mel Park ke iswa ke ena government mme le ga ke tsena ko ba simolla ba re mo operation ba khakhamola hela go tswa yana o tla go hela hae ba bula ga ba sona ba bula ka re itse re pelo ena le diveni tse tharo mme ne ba mpolletse gore go bereka e le nngwe mo go tse pedi yaano ga ba go dintsha se ba go se dirang ko gore ba ne ba sega yana ba tla ba ntsha ka le bona le badile be ba tsaya ditshika hela gone ditshika tse ga ba sone ba ditsa ke tsontse e leng gore ano be ba ditsa di a go pompa go thusa go pompa kako e nngwe e tswa ka ha e tsena mo pelong e nngwe e tswa ha e tsena mo pelong e nngwe e tswa ka ha e tsena mo pelong e nngwe e tswa ka ha e tsena mo pelong mme I must admit gore gone ke tswa go boa kgakala mme modimo no iso lete ya ka ke sampe ke le hano mme go na ga nna monate na re ko bohelong hela go ne go ga hela go siana mme ne go le botlhoko mosadi o na theogetse ya ro nna mo bolaong e be le gore o ka re ga se ba gago ko sepateleng ke ntse kgwedi mme ne ba mpolletse gore from the time ya operation botlhoko bo ke bo utlwang bo tla tsaya kgwedi mme bo ne ba tsaya kgwedi ya ka ba ne ba bua ko morago e na nna ditlamorago tsa bone hela botlhoko ba teng ka gore ile la ga ke tsena mo lapeng mo ke a ntse go le botlhoko.
A condition of this kind affects more than just the sufferer. Cardiovascular diseases have direct and indirect costs for the entire family unit, most especially the primary caregiver. Carers of chronically ill patients have their work-life balance disrupted as well, and have their physical and mental well-being affected too. As our guest's wife, Dorothy Khabwe-Sili, relates.
Bana ba mo tlisa ka ambulance ke mo accept gore nya ke gone hell, but ha ke bona operation ya teng ke motho emotional, so ha ke bona yone operation ya teng e ne e santse le fresh, e na le ditshipi, e na le eng, but I did my best gore ke mo tlhokomela. I did my best. That wound ya operation go ne o tshwanetse gore ke clean tsatsi le letsatsi, ke itse gore o apara eng se se sa affecte gore that wound e santse le ntšha, gore ga gona sepe se se kgoreletsang pelo ya gagwe. And ha ke lebile yana ke mo cleana yana, it was not easy. It was not easy. O ipotsa gore tota motho a hella tshela through process e tshwana le yone. It was not easy. Le medication le yone go ne go tshwanetse gore a tse medication ya gagwe the way accordingly gore ngaka ene a reng. Dijo tsone go ne go tshwanetse gore ke ne very strict. Le gone nako tse dingwe o tla ba re nya o itse gore ke misa di-take away, ke re o itse gore ke ka nna wa misa di-take away, your health comes first. So go gontse tota gore as a woman, yes, you have to stand by your man, but at the end of the day, bolwetse bone o tshwanetse gore o leke tota gore bo ska nna ba tsenela go ting. And I'm happy gore a na le lemoga gone before it was late. So a ba simolola go gore he goes through yone operation, a ba simolola go tsa melemo ya gagwe, sengwe le sengwe a dira sengwe le sengwe, le nna ke mo thusa hale le hale. La ntlha gone gore ke ne ke sena nako hela ya gore ke tswele go ntle, like ke go tirong full time, and ke radio tse dingwe, especially basically on work ke ne ke sa kgone because ena a santse a le molwetse tota gore ga kgona go tsamaya a le nosi hela, a tsamaya hela mo lapeng mo ntlong. Le gona ha nna ha batse ka go tla gore ish, because that pain o santse a na le pain, o tswa hela hospital o santse a na le pain. But as time goes on, I already exercise ke na le ene ha gore we are going for a walk ke tsamaya rotlhe, ha re bua yana re bua rotlhe.
Welcome back to First Issues. As in our Business Basics segment tonight, we continue to use the experiences of youthful startups to explore various concepts. Our contributor this evening is 26-year-old entrepreneur Tsaone Lawrence Bahiti, who owns a classic Intel photo studio in Jwaneng, the only photo studio, he says, in that area.
Kitso e ntsi thata ka kgwebo, so dilo tse di tshwanang le bo pricing product ya me, marketing, ke dilo gore ke ne ke sa di tlhaloganye gore ke ne ke dira sengwe le sengwe haphazardly. So gore la gore le kganya bookkeeping ne ke sa kgone go dira go trace di-finance tsa ka sentle. So gore a reng ha ke dire business ha e dire madi a rile o le ana a dira ne ke sa lemo gore dira madi, so gore a reng go mo gore go ela go dira gore business e hele yo.
This is not Tsaone's first attempt at starting a business. Along with the lessons he has learned from experience, he tells us which resources he has found to be valuable for teaching good business practices.
I once came across the magazines, the few za business. Ke na ka kopana le magazine wa Succeed, it's a South African magazine. Ka kopana le mo ga the entrepreneur. Those are the magazines that currently lompion ke a collect ke na ka simolola go bala thata mo go tsone. I went through the internet ke checka gore simple business ke eng o tshwanetse go tlhaloganya. And then I also have a mentor video mo dire thank ke no gore one thatella mo di ka bontsi, I go back to him ke mo tsa gore okay, there's this and that, how do I strategize ke bereka yang. So those are things that gore di ntutile, and le di programs tsa gore di teng mo television go ne le bo the business coach bogologolo, re na le mo DStv ke te ke lebele Dragon's Den.
Clearly, finding a good business mentor, one with experience in your sector, could be the secret to your company's success.
I would say I finance myself, but with the help, yeah, my mentor. He only lin putenzi thata mo goreng ke hela ke leng teng ke kgone ke bule the studio se ke leng mo go sone. O na na le equipment ta banthara tsaone ke na le se tshwara o pataganye o bona gore o ka dira yang, o nthuse ka equipment ya gagwe, what he had bona se nkadima, and then we reached a point that re ne la agreement that okay, let me buy those from you in that time, because I understand them, they're more like my babies.
Stay tuned, there's more to come on First Issues. Welcome back. If you watched the program last week, you will now know that the stock exchange offers 3 different investment products. Those are shares, bonds, and exchange-traded funds, otherwise known as ETFs. Now, Thapelo Muribame of the Botswana Stock Exchange shares the advantages and disadvantages of investing in shares.
Shares are commonly known as equity or stocks. They're the most popular compared to the other products that we have here at the BSE. Now, shares give investors the opportunity to have a stake in the company that they have invested in. So there are advantages that are associated with investing in shares. Now, the first advantage is when a company makes profit, as a shareholder, you can get part of that profit as a dividend. And secondly, when the share price increases, it means as an investor, you accrue some capital gains. And thirdly, as a shareholder, you are entitled to have a say in the running of the company. For example, at the annual general meetings as a shareholder, you can voice your opinion in terms of how you feel the company should be run. And the other advantage of investing in shares is that they're tradable at the stock exchange. So if you want to buy shares, you can simply approach any of our 4 brokers. Now, as with any other investment products, there are disadvantages that are associated with investing in shares. For example, the company can underperform. Now, since you are a shareholder, you are part and parcel of that company. So if the company underperforms, it means that you may lose part of your investment. Now, what we always advise investors at the BSE is that for you to mitigate against any possible loss of investment, you need to diversify your investment. Now, you can diversify across the different companies that are available at the BSE, or you can diversify across the different securities that we have on offer.
This program was brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana.
FNB, how can we help you?